say will be recorded, even though the meeting has.
Well, I don't yeah, it was.
Well, yeah, so, forward is forward. I watched the last meeting on Zoom, and about 10 minutes before the meeting, the recording started, and I could hear the chatter in the middle of the audience. And then during the meeting, if side talk starts happening, that gets recorded as well.
All right, well, that's good to know. I appreciate the heads up.
Yeah, but especially you two.
Yeah.
Larry Randall.
What are you guys on the back of?
It's our high school days. We learned this a long time ago. Stay in the back. You don't get caught on.
Yes, you will. We have some teachers in our midst here, they go on your trips.
Yeah.
There's
I don't know, it just appeared. If somebody could walk up.
Gonna board us in?
One of us should collapse, we have to have a board of.
Well, I didn't hear yesterday, we're not supposed to pick anybody else. Yeah, this is a no, what do they call it, a no lift zone or something like that?
Don't live.
Don't lift
Do
zone.
not live.
Sure, it's like, yes, I don't think.
Which I never heard of before.
Either, but.
I guess we had to do TPR, they don't have to do it that way.
Well, I think somebody.
Without living.
Well, that's so interesting, somebody's been.
Joke's him.
No.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just using that for.
Neighbor,
Oh.
as a neighbor, I mean, excuse you. You signed it.
You do?
Always over you.
Oh, yeah, we can still see. I can still see. They started recording in the picture of chatter.
Mhm.
Just one of us.
hello. Hi.
Good job. Once or so. Okay, I got 10 o'clock on this,
Sue.
excuse me. Let me get organized here. So that's 10 o'clock by the official call, so call the meeting to order. As I said to some people earlier, you should know in the audience that this whole thing is being recorded, but because of where the recording devices are, particularly your voices in the audience are picked up. So any side talking will get picked up and will be part of the final product. And I learned that because I wasn't at the last meeting, but I did watch it on Zoom, and Tony must have turned on the recording sometime before the meeting started, and so there was lots of chatter in the audience, so they could pick out voices of people I'm familiar with. But later on in the meeting, during the meetings, there was some side crosstalking, I'll call it, and that kind of interfered with what the speakers were. Excuse me, it interfered with me as a viewer at home being able to tell what the speakers were saying. So I just asked to get cognizant of that as we go on. I don't have any opening remarks except to say this is my last meeting as chair or president, whatever my role is. And you'll be in good hands as we're turning the process over to Tom as of September 1st. Anybody at the table got any more to say?
Thank you, Dave. We will miss you.
Oh, well, I'll be watching, but I'll be watching. I'll be watching and listening. Okay, opening ears session. Anybody? Anybody? Nobody. Okay, moving on. minutes approval, we have a bunch of them today. So first of all, the minutes of the August 7th meeting, Molly has circulated all these minutes to you, minutes of the August 7th meeting, which is our last meeting. Motion. Motion to approve by Tom, second by Larry, discussion. No discussion. Approved. Okay, unanimous as far as I could read. Approval of the Residents Association meeting from February 26th. Motion to approve. Tom. Larry. I'll just keep the pointing over there. Discussion, I know that was a long time ago. That's the one where Tom had all the slides about our population, our census, and who we are and where we're going, et cetera. Discussion. Move to approve. Everybody good? Approval of the Residents Association special meeting of May 28th. It's the one where we reviewed the bylaw changes. Explain. Oh, Larry jumping the gun again. Time second. Okay. Discussion. Okay. All in favor? All right. And then the second meeting of that day, the Residents Association meeting, that's when we had Natalie come in, and also we had Larry and Molly give their own personal stories relating to their health center experiences. You all remember that? Must see TV. Okay, motion. Go ahead, John. Come on. John moves to approve. Discussion. Vote. Okay, thank you. And thank you, Molly. It was a lot of work. Okay, we can do you special if you have to go somewhere.
No.
Okay. Communications received and sent by corresponding secretary.
Okay, before I give any report, I would like to beg the indulgence of the council. If I were to step down in that particular role, effective immediately, because I will be assuming the role of VP as of September 1st. And John Ortner has very kindly agreed to take over the role of corresponding secretary. And so I guess we may need the approval of the board to do, of the council to do that. Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, so you're, upon becoming vice president, you want to give up being corresponding
Yeah, I
secretary?
figured two hats is sufficient.
And all the glory that comes with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And accolades and perks and all that stuff you
Well,
can have?
definitely. Can't do without those perks, but I will try.
Okay. So you're making that nomination?
Yes.
Okay, well, I guess it's two things. Larry's resigning and John's ascending. Is that one motion?
Yes.
That's Larry's motion. Second? Couple of seconds over here. Did you get them? Both Mel and Edward? Discussion? Anybody got a problem with it? Anybody got a problem with it? I don't have I think it's great. Thank you, John. Thank you, Larry.
Yeah. So, John, do you want to give any report? Or are you going to leave it up to me?
Leave it up to you. This
Okay.
Let's take a vote though.
Then,
Do we take a vote?
oh, sorry, I thought you had already.
All in favor? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, John. Now you have a report.
Yes, the report is I have received nor have I sent any correspondence, so.
So that makes a grand total of like about 3 for the year so far of correspondences.
3 or 4, I've lost.
I mean, we have our ear session.
There's so many, I've lost track.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. We have our ear session and that's great. I'm sure people talk to people in the hallway, et cetera, but as far as that official way, there's
Right.
minimal. Okay. That's it?
Yes.
Okay. Old business, agenda for the August 27th Residents Association meeting, Tom?
Okay, we're closing in on having it, I think it would be a good session. We're gonna have discussions from the benefit fund on what they do and how they work. Plus a follow-on discussion from the Rove Committee about their activities and how the benefit fund and Rove are different. So that'll be primarily to refresh older residents and for new residents to get an understanding of how these two functions work. One is resident driven, the other is part of the structure of our community. And the other half will be as part of the discussions from last session about the state of affairs for the legal entities or legal statutes that are coming through New York State Legislature. Michelle has agreed to make a presentation on that. So that will be the second half of that presentation on Wednesday, the 27th, 3 o'clock in the back. Don't be late.
Limited seating, huh? So you've been working with both of the growth and benefit fund about some slides or some visuals for this?
Yes, and thank you for volunteering me on that. It's always a pleasure.
So, we just approved a series of minutes for the Residents Association meeting, and in reading them over, well, I'll get done them all this week, it starts out like this, Dave Smith opened the meeting with some remarks and then turned it over to Tom. And that happened 3 times, so that happened here again. But I know you like doing that. Yeah, we'll hear from both of the chairpersons speaking through their
Yes.
talking, okay, good, okay. Committee reviews, I just passed the mic down to Carl, and we'll start, I know, you wanna start with Sue, did you wanna go first, or you want to see what our?
I don't think I need.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. So, Sue, Gilder is here as our guest this morning, she is the chair of the nominating committee, is gonna make a brief report on where they are and where they're going, thank you.
Yes, we've been tasked to put together a slate of prospective candidates for the 5 replacements of the resident council. We have a nice group. We had several, 2 have changed their mind. And so if anyone is interested in applying for that, the concierge has the affirmation forms, and we'd appreciate it, you would consider it. Thank you. Oh, we're getting all the paperwork together, and the Meet the Candidates Day is October 8th. It's a Wednesday at 3 o'clock.
And then the election will start
The following
right
week,
thereafter and continue through the following week?
Yeah.
Okay,
10 to the 14th,
When will you be announced?
I guess that night or late the next day.
No, announcing the slate. Will you be coming to the board council to announce the slate?
I guess I am.
when you get it squared away, I know you're still in flux, and I don't want you to give us a name of somebody who's on the board, and I don't want to overpromise on somebody else's behalf, if you're comfortable there.
Yeah.
Questions of Sue from the Valley yet?
You have anything?
No, I'm sorry, I thought you did, no.
Oh, okay,
No, wait, for Sue.
Do you have
Have a
any
question
questions?
for
Sue?
I don't have anything to say.
Okay. Good with that? Good, Sue? You're excused if you want to be, you're welcome.
Yes, this is.
Okay, thank you very much. Just at the Carl, we'll just start with the report. Carl's 2-0, I do nothing. That was nothing. Oh, no,
All that's nothing.
yeah, okay, then what do you got?
okay, on the art and decor committee, first start with, there was some old business, mainly that the late Al Chasen's extensive artwork is going to be rotated through the community. And also that photos taken by our Larry Randall are now hanging in the game room, which I myself haven't looked at yet. But are they there, Larry?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so if you see photos in the game room, they're from our own Larry Randall, okay? Then as far as a new business, there are some odds and ends, minor things such as broken glass on pictures being replaced. And then there was an item, nobody can find the Christmas and autumn decorations which were supposed to be in the storage room. Anybody can help with that, I would be grateful. The PAC and the art studio are not going to be affected by construction this autumn, assuming that construction takes place, okay? Okay, that's basically the crux of the art and decor committee.
Questions for Mel on that? Thank you.
Okay, any questions concerning art and decor and the whole residence? Nothing? Okay. The other committee was the landscape committee. Now, the landscape committee is organized such that it starts with the horticulturist report, who is doing all the work essentially with his team. And that usually runs up to 45 minutes at the meeting. So I can report on some of the items that was discussed. There is a discussion on whether or not certain trees at the cottages should be replaced by either dogwood or red bud. No decisions were made on that. Also a discussion on whether there should be less gardening and more formal plantings. And there was no discussion on that either. There were some pruning issues concerning handwork versus power tools. But that's something that the horticulturist has to deal with. He discussed the gardens. I don't know if any of you wander around the gardens and look at gardens, but they're variable, and they're variable due to residents' aptitudes. The residents take care of these resident gardens, and some do a better job than others. Okay. Then there was a talk about the street lights. Our street lights are on all the time. And there was a discussion concerning what they called the Pittsburgh experience. In Pittsburgh, the street lights go on and off according to motions of cars. They use motion sensors to turn street lights on and off, which means they're usually off all the time. There were no decisions made on that, but there's a possibility. That's something you may get interested in. People like lights on all the time. On the other hand, people who are more conservative would like to see the lights off, not using electricity and so on, but flash on if there's a necessity, such as a car coming along. There was no decisions made on that either. We mentioned the fact that the goats were canceled. We didn't say why. They're just too expensive. The bill for the goats would have been something like $13,000, and the manager decided that we can live without the goats. Okay.
You must be kidding.
That was a very intense conversation. We can live without the goats. I kind of would have liked to see the goats because I've never seen them. Apparently, they eat everything in sight, right? And of course, if they didn't do a good job, Tom wouldn't think about using it again. But the price has gone up. I made some inquiries and where do these goats come from? Apparently, there are dealers that do that sort of thing. They rent out goats. Everything's a business, and I'm going to tell you. Okay. There were other discussions that the horticulturist came across where there are certain areas of the lawn where he's doing some restorations and also on trees and shrubs and so on, which are kind of detailed, and we can skip over that. Okay. Is there anything you want me to ask the horticulturist? I can do that. Nothing? Then I'm done.
You're addressing the council. I don't have anything. But if the goats stopped eating that stuff, that would be bad. I'm done.
It's very easy.
That's unfair, Evelyn.
That was the sheep. Thank you, Mel. Evelyn?
The Welcome Committee met on August 12th. Gene Sutton resigned from the committee and a letter of appreciation was sent. Alice Cross stepped down as chair of the Welcome Committee, and Sue Gilder was nominated and elected as the new chair. 2 people are moving in late August, and mentors were assigned. The next new resident orientation is on October 22nd.
Any questions?
Is that it? So questions for Evelyn on that? So that's a turnover at the. That's a turnover at the top of the committee, that's Alice did a nice job for a long time, she was in charge of that when I moved in 8 years ago. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Mental Health and Wellness Committee. Sarah Leonard introduced our new independent living part-time social worker, Annika Epley. Her duties will include helping new residents transition to Woodland Pond and if needed, transition to the health center. When needed, she will help Sarah and Liz interview prospective residents and do some short-term private therapy with individuals. She will also run grief and caregiver support groups. There was a long discussion if the Mental Health and Wellness Committee and the Health Center Committee should meet again to discuss inappropriate behavior of a few visiting relatives of health center residents. This decision was to meet again with Michelle Vermolia, and the staff from the health center will also attend the meeting. Dr. Gerda Mizell will give another talk on dealing with our aging bodies. There was a suggestion to form a support group for residents who don't have family members who will get involved in their care. Sarah and Annika will look into this.
Questions for everyone? So, go ahead, Carl. And you will on to this one, if you can, Andrew.
On the topics we've been following, will each of those new people bring some dough to the community? You will see.
Right. We're talking about goats, not sure you.
You know, she for use. Female deer or does. Is that your joke? I'm sorry. So questions for Evelyn on this. So this afternoon, segue, Council Connections will feature the Health and Wellness Committee with Pat Houck and Ronnie Sue Jeff. You don't see either one of them in the audience. And tomorrow, she's not here with us this morning either, but those will be, tomorrow's guests will be Pat and Ronnie Sue. So good. Rove met this month. Couple of things. One is they're running about 7% behind last year's collections month on month. But Bob, the treasurer, is confident that by the end of our collection year, that will be about equal to last year, and therefore able to give an equal amount of money to the recipients. We're not sure how many employees there are because that varies during the time of the year. But as far as our goal is to collect as much as we can. The Rove people, some of the Rove people will be manning an information table in the outside the mailroom several days in September. I think it's the week after Labor Day, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, around the dinner and lunch hours. So you can learn about Rove, or maybe if you haven't gone to Tom's presentation on the 27th, you can learn about it there. But hopefully you'll hear everything you want to know from Tom and his. Well, the Tom's leading. So anyway, Rove will need a new liaison as I'm stepping down, and the peripatetic John Ortner has suggested he would be willing to fill in that role through the end of the year. So can you all agree that John would be a good representative for Rove for the rest of the year? Okay. You got the job, John. I'm asking quite a resume this morning. That's all I have for Rove. Questions on Rove? Okay, John.
The library committee met earlier than I reported last time, and the benefit fund didn't have a meeting this year, but they met via Zoom, and they are asking us to approve of a proposal for. I'm going to step back because some history here. The Brain Health and Sue Close have looked at information and research that points to the fact that an aquarium would be very beneficial to the residents, particularly the mental, the memory care unit. And so they found an aquarium that they put in there. Management's gonna take care of the maintenance, but they needed $3,000 for the purchase. And so they've submitted a request for $3,000 for the aquarium.
So this is, you making this,
I think
a motion,
yes,
that you want the council to approve through the benefit fund spend $3,000.
$1,000, yes.
Okay, and they've already approved it.
Yeah, oh, yes.
I said in a couple meetings too, so. Okay. So a second, I'll second that, because I was in one or more of those meetings, discussion.
I don't understand what this is.
The benefit fund wants the council to approve $3,000 to buy the fish tank for the health center, particularly the memory care section. Maintenance will do management will take care of the ongoing monthly maintenance, but this is the initial purchase cost. And so John, on behalf of the benefit fund, to which he is the liaison, is asking us to approve that.
Does this mean it's fully set up?
Yes.
Yes, they've already purchased it and it takes time for the water, it's salt water and it takes time for it to,
I'm just curious, how big is that fish tank?
75 gallons.
75 gallons, okay.
Let me say at the outset, it had nothing to do with any of this, but I can report my wonderful powers of observation will tell you that a tank is not in the memory care unit, but in the lobby of the health center. And it's fully operational. There are 4 little fish swimming around in it. And I understand that's just the initial population, that there'll be additional fish in there, presumably none of them being offspring of Jaws.
Thanks, Dave. How am I gonna follow this comedy act?
Okay. So we'll continue discussion on, I've already motioned in seconds, at the end of the discussion. Comment, call for a vote. Oh, Mark Muller, sorry, did you have a comment? Comment after the vote, okay, so let's have the vote, all in favor? John, there's usually some paperwork that accompanies, oh, how about that? Okay. No, I get it, and I'll sign, and then it goes to Michelle after that, so I'll take care of it. Okay, Molly, you had a comment?
My question was, is the tank gonna stay in the lobby or going to the?
Okay, I misspoke, I thought it was for memory care, sorry. Okay, that concludes John, pass the microphone down to Tom and Larry. Larry, excuse me.
I have no report, financial review, meets next week.
Nothing for the board. I have submitted their regular monthly report, but because they did not meet this month, I don't think it would be presumptuous of me to publicize it before they have even seen it. So anyway, land conservation, at a regular monthly meeting last Friday, the committee determined to inventory all 6 existing woodland pond trails that connect to the rehabilitated Branch McBride trails in order to determine their condition and what routine maintenance might be required to make them acceptably usable without violating the terms of our easement.
Big doings,
I beg your pardon?
that's big doings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Missed the meeting, sorry. No, I apologize already, I did.
Yes, you have. And I might add that the committee was very regretful that you have resigned, not only as secretary, which you did a wonderful job at, but as a member in just a general member. So thank you for years of service. I might add for the audience that it was Dave's idea to initiate what has become our regular highway cleanup operation. And so those of you have in the past participated in that, I think you would agree it's a wonderful opportunity to get out and enjoy fresh air and make our highway a little bit cleaner.
Also, the committee was the pathway through which the pay cap was introduced to the community. I see a note that there's 4 slots available for tomorrow. I don't know if anybody in the audience signed up for them, but if you haven't, it's a nice ride and tomorrow's gonna be a nice day. And in addition, when I was active, we were the ones who kind of got it started for the rehabilitation. We envisioned a much smaller project than what it turned out to be, but I'm very happy that we got it started and it turned out to be what it is. So thank you for your kind words, Larry. Molly, I think you, questions for Larry? You had something from June you were gonna? Well, well, you can, if she's deputized you, you can be her. And welcome, June, I didn't notice you there.
June sent me the minutes of the most recent dining committee meeting, which are extensive. The chair of the meeting, Joan Kleingreis, welcomed new committee member Matt Bianco, who joins other recent new committee members, Marie Howard, Len Rothman, and Stephanie King. The next kitchen tour will be September 19th at 11 o'clock. Talking about the request that there be opening of the bistro on Saturdays for lunch. Phil explained that a minimum of 50 residents would need to eat lunch in the bistro on Saturdays in order to open it to make it cost effective. And he pointed out that residents can currently get lunch in the pub on Saturdays from 12 to 2. He further said that after the dining renovations are completed, the bar will be open for juice and smoothies in the mornings. Casual dining will be open 6 days and 6 evenings a week, and formal dining will be open 6 nights a week. It was announced that 80 resident surveys have been submitted so far regarding the fall menu. And there was a discussion about the online reservation systems, which says residents can view their current and future dining reservations on this online reservation systems, but at 4 p.m. each day, the information is removed, but the resident can still see this information in past history. There was a conversation about spices, and it was decided that dishes with hot spices will be marked as such on the menu. And also a continuing discussion of portion sizes. And it was agreed that a large portion isn't a problem since any remainder can be used for lunch the next day. And there's more.
Unfairly, I'm gonna ask anybody any questions for Molly. Molly's just the voice, but she wasn't at the meeting, so she can only know what she read. So do we have any questions, comments for Molly? Well, I don't know, June. I was interested to hear how Phil responded to the request for the bistro, because I thought that was an interesting. So he says, not right now, is pretty much what it boils down to, right? Okay, is that the end of our committee business? John, did you want to go over all the council topics, review your list, or did you satisfy that the last
I
minute?
think I did last time.
Okay.
We need to update it.
No, so nothing changed.
No, nothing changed, but it's part of the next topic on the handbook.
Okay, so you all know that there was an open enrollment for the handbook review volunteers. I think Michelle and her, I read the summary of Michelle's speech Tuesday, but didn't hear the actual thing. So I don't know if she named names or not, but she said there were 7 people that came forward. I know that at least a couple of you on the council. Did Lindsay reach out to you yet? Okay, I'm gonna give Lindsay this list if you don't already have it, and if you all don't mind, I'll just tell you who signed up. It was Margaret Nunez, Ida Breyer, Edwin Rosenthal, Art Gellert, if I said his name correctly, Fred Walensky, Larry Randall, and Marilyn Malou. So the 7 of you will comprise the beginning of the committee, how many of you stay on or whatever, once you're faced with the workload, you might say no, I hope you don't, because it looks like a pretty good group, but I hope you get started soon, because I think the management wants to have the new one published by the end of the year. So that's only four working months. So thank you all for stepping forward and hearing the call. We did the benefit fund already, didn't we? Carl, you had something you wanted to introduce as new business?
You suggested, I believe, that I introduce the idea now and we put it on the agenda for next month. But in terms with the nominating committee and election rules, there is nothing in our bylaws that states how the election should be run or what conditions. It's left up to the committee so far, unless we, the council, give them instructions. And specifically, what I would like us to decide is whether or not we like the idea of allowing nominations from the floor at the Meet the Candidates meeting. There are reasons for it and there are reasons against it, so I think it's worth discussing.
And the plan is? The plan is, I don't mean to overstate what my understanding is and what we just talked about, but that you will put together some kind of proposal for them to then opine on, a starting document, so it's not just cross talking, and that this can occur largely offline before the next meeting and then be presented at the next meeting. Is that's what we agreed to, right? Okay. You guys okay with that? Okay. You got the ball, Carl. Thank you very much. Any other new business?
Thank you.
Council connections, I already announced what's coming up. At the activities committee kickoff meeting Tuesday, the subject of continuing council connection was broached, but not, there was no substantive discussion. Jason's the chair of it for now, that he would reach out to you, Yakov, for seeing what you have planned in the immediate future and for some kind of handoff. I'm not going to try to put you on the spot right now, but that's where that is. The committee will take it over, but maybe not as a direct handoff. Maybe they want you. I don't know what you and Jason are going to work out, but I'm sure it'll be to the benefit of the community. Thank you.
So Jason is going to talk to me about.
That's what he said. Yes, or maybe it'll be Carrie, but that one of those two will. That's the end of the business section. Open up for second years. Oh, come on, people. We didn't set a record. We were under 20 after last time, but this is a pretty short meeting as well. Going twice. I don't see anybody doing anything that makes me think, Tom, you got anybody behind you there? Okay. Second year session is closed. Our group today. A motion to adjourn.
As I move.
Anybody object to an adjournment? You object to adjournment?
Before we adjourn, I think could have some sort of unanimous approval of being very grateful for the work that you put in as chair.
Here, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, now we can adjourn.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.